Alright guys, welcome back to another horror room movie review, and today is the last Friday the 13th movie. This is it. I know that Friday the 13th is a very long franchise, and I do plan to do Nightmare on Elm Street, movies like that, Hellraiser in the future. However, all of those are very long also. So for the next couple movie series I'm going to be doing, I wanted to do something a little bit shorter. And I think I have some pretty good ideas on what to do for the next couple series. Hopefully you guys enjoy them. Hopefully you have enjoyed all of these Friday the 13th movie reviews. I have enjoyed watching them. I think it's an iconic series. And after seeing every single movie, it deserves its spot. It deserves, just in the 80s alone, it was tons of movies just coming out. And Jason, you don't have to say anything more about him. Everybody knows Jason Voorhees. And I really have enjoyed watching this series. I really enjoyed the first few movies. The only one I can really say I had a huge problem with was Manhattan. That one I did not like at all. But the worst offender in all of the Friday the 13th series is Jason X. That was horrendous. And I thought that this remake, or reboot, whatever this was, did a great job bringing Jason back, establishing him as a badass. After all those goofy movies, like Jason X, this movie, the remake, 2009, really established him as a badass. And I like this movie. I really like this movie, actually. I thought it did a lot of great stuff for the character Jason. I actually saw this one in theaters when it came out, and I loved it. And it's cool to see a movie like this in the theater. It helps the movie. And it actually had a budget of $19 million and made back $91 million. So that's pretty good. Sadly, I haven't heard anything about a sequel. I don't know why. That sounds like it was successful enough to get a sequel. Hopefully they'll do that in the future. I like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake also. And you take this Jason and that Freddy, and I would like to see another Jason versus Freddy. Of course it would have to be down the road when each character has had some more, movies come out. But that's the sad thing about not hearing about a sequel. At the pace they're going, it would take like 20 years. So I don't know. Hopefully they will do another Friday the 13th movie in the future. But on to this one. It starts off with June 13th, 1980, and Jason's mom gets her head cut off, and Jason, a young Jason, finds the body. So we go to present day Crystal Lake, and we see a group of people. They're going camping, but it's really so that they can find some weed crop or something like that. At night they're talking about the history of the camp, the story of Jason Voorhees. And I thought this was really well done. This was a great way to show, older fans like myself who have seen the movies, kind of doing it in a new way without forcing us to sit through the entire first movie, because they couldn't really do a remake of the first Friday the 13th for obvious reasons. It was Jason's mother. So they kind of just gave us a little bit of that, and then they had the guy tell the story to his friends at the camp. And I thought that was a great way to introduce new fans to the series in case for some insane reason they don't know the backstory of Jason Voorhees. It was a good way to introduce them to the character and tell them, what he's about. He saw his mother killed as a child, and now he just goes buck wild when anybody comes to Camp Crystal Lake. Or so they think. It's a rumor. It may not be true. That's what they think in the movie. So the couple split up, and the single guy goes off to find the weed, or he actually finds the weed while he's taking a piss, and Jason kills him. Another couple goes to explore the camp. They see the Crystal Lake, and they're like, hey, that's the camp he was telling us about. Let's go inside and see what's in there. The other couple is having sex in the tent, and one leaves to go find the missing guy, and he finds his body. So he runs back to the camp, and he sees the girl he left hanging in her sleeping bag over a fire, slowly burning alive. That was intense. When I saw that in the theater, I was like, holy shit, that's a pretty brutal death. And so the guy sees this and he freaks out and he's running trying to save her, and he gets caught in a bear trap. So this Jason is smart. I mean, he's much smarter than the previous Jasons. So that was already a step in the right direction. So we see the other two back at the camp exploring Crystal Lake, and they find Jason's mother's head, and then he starts attacking from the floorboards with a machete. He kills the guy. The girl escapes. She runs back to the others, and she sees the girl's dead. She sees the other guy caught in a bear trap. She runs up to him trying to help him, and then all of a sudden Jason runs up. Yes, he runs. He's a powerhouse. I mean, he is pretty damn scary to picture Jason Voorhees running after you. And he runs up and just plants this machete in this guy's head. And it was awesome. And then he goes to kill the girl, and it just says Friday the 13th, and it comes on the screen. So I thought that was a nice touch. So, I mean, we assume she's dead, but we don't really know. Turns out she's not. So we see our new cast of victims at a gas station. This guy, Clay, is the brother of the girl we just saw possibly get killed. We're not really sure at this point. And he's handing out flyers for his missing sister. And the new cast of characters, one of them, Trent, he's kind of a dickhead. No, he is a dickhead. And he's yelling at Clay and telling him to hurry up. We got stuff to do here. So we meet these guys. And the other group heads up into Trent's parents' house near Crystal Lake. They're going to go stay the night there for the weekend or something like that. A weekend of debauchery. And Clay and a local, he goes to see a local. He's asking about his sister, and he goes to see a local. And she tells him his sister's dead. Folks go missing around here, they don't come back. That type of thing, the weird, creepy local. And I think when I was looking this up on Wikipedia, I think it said something about the guy who directed this also directed the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you can tell. It's so obvious. It's like a lot of the same type of creepy locals and things. So yeah, that was kind of funny to me, because there's usually not. There was Crazy Ralph, and that was really it. There wasn't a lot of creepy locals in the Friday the 13th franchise. Clay shows up at the cabin looking for his sister. Trent, the guy who got into it with him at the gas station, tells him to leave. And Jenna, Trent's girlfriend, decides to go with Clay. She's going to help him find his sister. We see another local who reminds me, strangely enough, of Woody Harrelson. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but this guy really reminded me of him. And he's been stealing weed. The weed crop that the other campers found. He's been going back there and stealing it. Now, you might wonder, why would Jason be after this guy? Well, the other local lady who was talking to Clay said something about, people from out of town don't know where to walk around here. And I think this guy, even though he is a local, he started going into Jason's area. And you're not supposed to do that. So, he's been stealing weed. And of course, Jason attacks him. Jason is wearing the bag over his head. I thought that was a great touch. It's like a way to combine the first few movies. They even combined the barn scene later. And I thought that was awesome. Like, you have the first one with his mother, bag-headed Jason. So the local rips the bag off his head, and we see the deformed Jason. Jason cuts the guy's throat with a machete, and then he sees the hockey mask. And he puts the hockey mask on. So two people from the other group that are camping or staying up at the cabin, they're going to go wakeboarding. So this one guy's driving the boat, the girl's behind him, and she hits a wave and falls into the water, and then he turns back and he's going to circle the boat around, and he gets hit in the head with an arrow. Jason just shoots this guy with an arrow from the dock or something, and just kills the guy. And then the guy runs over the girl with the boat. And Willa Ford it said Willa Ford was in this movie. Now, is that the pop singer? Because I think she's the one who died wakeboarding. And, well, she didn't die wakeboarding, but she's the one who was wakeboarding. And if that is Willa Ford, she got topless for this movie? Like, that's kind of surprising to me. I don't know. But the boat's out of control, so it hits her, but she doesn't die. She just gets hit in the head. And she looks over and she sees Jason. So she's trying to escape from him. And she gets under the dock and she's hiding and she's looking through the cracks and she sees Jason walking around above her. And then we just see the machete come down, stab her in the head, and then pull her up. And that was it. And he really just pulled her up so you can see her breast again, and then he drops her. But that was a pretty cool scene. You know, you get to see Jason use a bow and arrow. So, I mean, I think he used a crossbow or a harpoon in like 4, maybe 3. Can't really remember. Jenna is still helping Trent look for his sister, and they hear someone coming, so they hide. It's nighttime now, and it's Jason with a body. And he finds Trent's bag, his bag with the flashlights and stuff, and Jason just starts freaking out. He's going crazy. He's trying to find him. They do get away, and they decide to go back and warn the others. And we see Clay's sister is still alive. She's being kept in some kind of underground tunnel, and she hears them above her, but they can't hear her. So she's screaming for help. Of course, they don't hear her. Jason comes down into his lair, and we see that the reason he kept this girl alive is because she looks like Jason's mother. When they were exploring the camp, the kids that were looking for the weed, one of them found a locket and said, "Hey, this looks like you. You should hold on to this." So I can only assume that Jason has kept this girl alive because she looks like his mother. So he's down there, he's sharpening his machete, he leaves Trent's bag, and so the girl, Whitney, opens it and she sees the missing flyers and realizes her brother is coming to save her. So she opens the bag and she finds a broken GPS, she takes this rod out, she undoes her chains, and she actually escapes. She's captured again later though, so it doesn't really matter. But back at the party, Chewie and Lawrence are getting drunk and a chair gets broken. So Chewie tells Trent not to freak out. He can go fix the chair, so he goes down to the storage shed. He dicks around in there doing God knows what, playing hockey and breaking shit. I don't know, just being a complete idiot until Jason shows up and stabs him in the throat. Jenna and Clay tell the others about Jason and the power goes off. Lawrence goes outside to look for Chewie, and Jason throws an axe and hits Lawrence in the back. And as Lawrence is screaming for help, this was funny, the others are inside, and the girl, Bree, is like, "We need to go save him." And Clay's like, "You can't go out there. He's bait. Jason is trying to trick us to come out here." So they're just listening to their friend cry out for help. And Jason, I don't even think he was using him as bait. I think he was just doing that so he could catch up to him. Because he grabs Lawrence and then just drops him. So that the axe goes through all the way through his back. So that was a pretty good death. Let's see where I'm at here. And then Jason climbs onto the second floor. He's standing on the roof of the house. He got up there damn quick too. And he climbs in the second floor window and he kills Bree. The cops show up and he knocks on the door, and Jason just jumps behind him and stabs him so hard through his eyeball that it goes through the front door. And they did a really great job with this. It was kind of like if you've ever seen Family Matters with Steve Urkel. You know the beginning scene where Urkel is trying to get into the house, and on the other side you see the family, the Winslows, trying to block the door? It was like that, where you could see the thing go through the door. I thought that was really cool. Just little things like that really helped this movie out. Trent, Clay, and Jenna try to escape in the cop car, but Jason tosses Bree's body through the windshield. So Trent takes off alone through the woods until he sees a tow truck, which actually stops. And of course Trent's suspicious. I was suspicious. But the driver's like, "Come on." And then Jason just shows up behind Trent, stabs him and then impales him on the back of the tow truck. We see it was an old man driving who was legit trying to help Trent, and then he just takes off with Trent's body stuck to the back of his truck. Jenna and Clay head underneath the cabin, and they run into Jason's secret lair when they hear a scream. They go down there, they find Clay's sister, Whitney, and all three try to escape through a tunnel. Jenna gets caught by Jason, she gets stabbed, but Clay and his sister escape. Jason catches them and attacks Clay, but he doesn't kill him. So when he's going after Whitney, Clay again saves her. And then they head to the barn. Like I mentioned earlier, which I thought was a good throwback to the first few movies. And Jason jumps through the window again. And I thought that was great because damn near every Friday the 13th, Jason jumps through a window. And I still pop for that. I still really enjoy that. So he jumps through the window, and he fights with Clay. They hit Jason with a bear trap, and they wrap a chain around his neck, which they throw into a wood chipper or something. And Whitney stabs him as he heads into the wood chipper, and we just figure he's dead. Now at this point, he is still hillbilly, crazy strength Jason, but he's still a regular guy. Jason was killed in the original movies, and then he got brought back by the lightning rod, and he becomes zombie Jason, indestructible Jason. So here they should still technically be able to kill him. So they we see his head getting hit by the wood chipper, and then we see them throw his body into the lake. And I'm thinking, why? Why would they do that? Why would they move his body and toss it into a lake? And it's morning. I mean, that made no sense at all. Okay, you have Clay and you have his sister, and a cabin full of dead people with their fingerprints, or at least Clay's, inside the cabin. Why would they throw the person who did this into the bottom of a lake when the cops are going to be asking questions? It didn't make any sense, but the last thing we see is Clay and Whitney sitting on the dock, and then Jason jumps through the dock and grabs Whitney, and that was it. That was the end of the movie. I thought that was awesome. Really loved the ending. Glad to see Jason come back. They made it clear that he is not dead, and I really liked this entire movie. I thought it did a great job with new stuff, making Jason smarter, making him faster, making him... There were times when he would, when he was choking Bree, he just had this look in his eye through the hockey mask, and you could just see it, and it was just like, this guy, he doesn't know what he's doing is wrong. He just kills. He doesn't... It's kind of like Michael Myers. It's not like he wants to do it. It's like he... I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, I guess. He's not enjoying it, but he's not enjoying it, if you know what I mean. He's just doing it. So yeah, he just has like a lifeless stare in one of his eyes through the hockey mask. And I thought all these little touches in the movie, it was just so good. I really liked it. If you haven't seen this movie, you really need to check it out. So that's it, guys. That's the last movie in the Friday the 13th franchise. I'll be back next Wednesday with a brand new series. Probably going to be shorter, and then I'll have another series after that that's probably going to be shorter, and then I may do, another really long one like Nightmare on Elm Street or Hellraiser. I think Hellraiser's like 9 movies. So something like that in the future. But yeah, I've got a lot of movies I want to do, and I'm really looking forward to this next series. I think it's going to be really fun to watch. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Leave your thoughts on this movie in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Bye.